welcome back to the Wandering Gamer Network plays Mass Effect. I'm Caitlin.
And I have found our spaceship.
Yay!
Although, frick, we should have actually gotten on this spaceship before we started. Okay.
Before we go to 50 million hallways.
But, there's a requisition officer? No, I'm not talking to him. I don't really like Turians, except for Garrus. Anyways, so we were talking about... Okay, so we just were looking up character names. We found out there's 2 book series with a character named Charlotte Holmes that's a gender-swapped Sherlock Holmes. I don't know if this is the way to our ship or not. I don't think it is.
Dang it.
This is the wards. So we're talking about the one that's set in the period, like it's set in the what
Victorian.
I don't actually know what the year mark on those is because
1800s ish.
I was gonna say 1800s, but I wasn't really positive.
You didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it and then have you correct me, frankly.
I would have tried to do it nicely.
You know, I'm just gonna say, I don't believe you.
After all we've been through in Mass Effect, all these hallways, all these elevators.
You remember the time I accidentally killed a bunch of people and then you gave me grief about it? You're like, well, you murdered all those people on purpose. Like, I definitely didn't, but fine. Anyways, so kind of going back to that conversation, we talked about like the one police detective who was supportive of his wife, then in the second book it just flipped and he became a jerk. So the second part of it that I did not enjoy is this how you leave? Caitlin.
Were we here?
No, I don't know. We went through one elevator. I think this might be the elevator to our ship. Okay. Docking bay.
Yay!
It was the one right in front of our stupid faces. So the other part of the book is there is a kind of love triangle between... I hit the go button.
Okay. I couldn't see the things moving.
So there's a love triangle between a guy named Bancroft and a guy named...
Lord Ingram.
Lord Ingram, right. Yep. So Lord Ingram is the married man that she's in love with. And then Bancroft is her love interest brother-in-law who's like, hey, Charlotte Holmes, you could use a husband, I could use a wife. I know we don't love each other, so let's just get married anyway.
And he's also really intelligent. He's a lot like Charlotte in that he doesn't like playing the society games.
Yeah.
He's smarter than most people in the room.
He's also a secret agent, I guess.
Yeah, because he works for Scotland Yard or something.
Kind of. It's like vague what he like works for the crown, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And he then also employs his brother-in-law to also be a secret agent. They kind of made everybody a secret agent, which I found weird. Where it's just like... I thought Lord Ingram was just like an archaeology fan. It's like, no, I am a British spy. Okay, sure.
I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah, kind of. If
gives
they ever
you license
did anything.
to do weird things.
Yeah.
Like abnormal things.
That's true. But anyways, there's just like a lot of the book that's given over to their like stupid courtship that you kind of know is not going to really happen. Oh, whoa.
There he goes.
Nice headbutt. Is he going to get shot right as he's like poking at the controls?
I think he's going to die.
He feels like he's going to die because he's old. And the worst thing that can happen...
And he's self-sacrificing.
Yeah. I'm just saying the worst thing that can happen in a story is an old person die of natural causes.
Hands up.
Whoa! You guys are full execution real quick. Oh, yep.
No.
Oh. Oh, you kneecapped him. Okay, now this is confusing, because at some point you just grab him, you know? Oh, no, he's not dead.
I thought they were going to, like, shoot him point blank. I'm like, jeez.
He's just meowched.
Wait, were we listening in on that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Let's go. Get us out of here.
Oh,
Joker.
we're waiting for that second.
Yeah, we were waiting for the thing to change colors because it means we can fly away. That's how most interfaces work. It's just a giant empty screen with one green indicator light. And you just wait for that to turn green and then you're done.
Zoom, zoom.
Okay, this is a weird thing about my career and what I do. I design industrial interfaces similar to what you just saw there. Like, that's part of what I do. And so I spend an inordinate amount of time looking at and testing those types of interfaces. So seeing those portrayed wrong, one, bothers me, and two, it's like triggers me a little bit where I'm just like, oh, frick, I don't want to be back at work right now.
No.
I don't want to look at any more interfaces.
So did you, in your, like, engineering schooling, did you ever take like user experience stuff or like design classes?
No, kind of a little bit.
Okay.
There is a need for it, and there's a lot of... So when you're making interfaces that are going to be used to like control big plants or like ships like this, you don't design them to look pretty. You designed them to be really minimalist and only portray useful information. So like any prettiness on an interface is a waste of time. Like if I was going to design this interface where we pick planets, right? Do you see all like the pretty speckly lights and like that nice background that looks cool and the fact that our ship kind of actually looks like a ship? I wouldn't have any of that because that's all wasting real estate and I could pack more information on the screen if I don't have all that extra crap on there. So when you're doing industrial designed graphics like that are going to be used to run a plant, what you're mostly concerned with is there might be 3 million pieces of equipment and you need the operator to be able to understand what's going on with all of them at a glance. And also if they're colorblind and also if they can't read. Being totally serious about those.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So, like, use of color, everything's gray, generally. I've made a lot of 50 Shades of Grey jokes because of that. Just because so much of it is random grayscales, and color is only used to indicate something's bad. It's very rarely used. Mm-hmm. But anyways.
Do you do a lot with shapes, then? I know in, like, board game design, a lot of times you have like triple redundancy for like notating something is you have like the words and like a color and a shape, and that's consistent for that specific thing like throughout the whole game.
That's pretty typical. You can get you want to have as few lines as possible though for everybody shut up.
May I speak?
Yes, always.
And when I said everybody, really, Caitlin, I was telling you to shut up. So sorry. I said everybody to make it seem less personally offensive. But Liara walked in, so you have to stop talking now. Of course, I'm glad you're here.
I was just thinking about you.
Oh my gosh, is this
good
the sex
job.
scene? Are we about to have the sex scene?
And what
Caitlin, I don't know if I'm ready to watch a sex scene with you.
Oh, after all we've been through, all the hallways,
After all the hallways.
all the elevators.
There might be a side boob there might be 2 side boobs for a second. I don't know if I can handle it. There's something I must tell you in case.
What is it?
I don't know. No, I want to know what it is.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
There we go.
These could be our last moments together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
No, Joker, you better be cut off from all communication.
Do we want to say I thought you wanted to wait or so do I? Or now question mark?
So do I.
I'm going so do I.
I want this, Liara. I do. Are you sure you're
No.
ready?
So
No,
that just
that's the
combined the
same-
two.
I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Will you join with me?
Wow, you flipped on this quick, Liara.
Bodies and minds.
Yes!
Life or death.
Exclamation mark.
Never
Oh, okay. No, I wish I hadn't said that. That was not as. Oh my gosh, they're doing it. Whoa!
Hey,
Wow, she got into that like right away. I was expecting a
near-death
little bit more like.
experiences do that.
I like the soft focus. That feels like
Tasteful.
genre appropriate. Have the love interest.
Seems-
Whoa, are her eyes turning black?
Wait, what is happening?
This is how they don't have sex, remember? Because they're like a weird space alien. So they just
so
like.
this is just in our mind?
Well, I don't know. I think she just has to absorb our mind stuff.
Okay.
So there's just a lot of rolling, I guess, and kissing. I think she said like you don't have to like actually have sex unless you want to. So apparently she wants to.
Okay.
Was that it? Wow.
Where were we, by the way?
That was
On the ship.
Okay, but like, was there anything not metal around? Is my real question.
No. The Asari are just into metal grates. Let's go again. Oh my
But
gosh.
I'm not.
Yes.
Yay!
Commander.
Got all the time in the world.
To the new relay.
Go away, Joker. Nobody asked you.
Oh man.
You would not want to
So you got
be
like
over
2 seconds of Liara's butt
whatever happens.
and a
in
soft
life.
focus
I
shepherd.
just wanted to say thank you.
Paramore.
You know, I don't feel good about getting a trophy for sex. That feels
That
weird.
does feel wrong.
So I guess we still it's like the movie Avatar, you know what I mean? Where they have like the head tails and you're like, what do you use those for? During.
I don't remember Avatar having head tails, honestly.
You don't remember Avatar? It's like the main thing in the movie. They have like little like tentacly head tails that are in their braid. And when they want to like control an alien creature, they like shove it in their brain stalk, and then their like brain tentacles touch each other, and then they can control the animal.
Yeah,
like,
I've only seen it once like 10 years ago.
Caitlin, I've only seen it once 10 years ago too. How did you forget the brain tails?
I don't know.
We've got company.
There's like a scene where he's like
Have the
playing
sensor
with
just up
it,
yet?
and his like
Stealth
commanding
systems are
officer
engaged.
jokingly says, if you
Unless
keep
we get
doing
close
that, you'll
for
go
a visual, we
blind.
won't have
Oh.
But then it opens that up
Picking
to
up
like,
some strange readings
so
from the planet's surface.
you're telling me you've never
this
tried
down,
to connect
Joker.
that with another
Lock in on
person?
the weapons.
Because someone has to have
Get him on
tried.
that, Commander. The nearest landing zone's 2 clicks away.
Now I feel weird for remembering the blue alien stuff.
Get us something close.
How has this not preoccupied your mind a lot more? That's all I was thinking about
These
when I got
past
into that
10
movie.
years.
Well, there's gonna be another one, so maybe they'll answer that
Oh,
question
boy.
finally.
Oh boy. When is that supposed to be?
I don't know.
We have to try.
Well, I have to wait till then and then wait till it comes out on DVD so I don't give them a single cent of money.
It's our only
So I just want to
option.
say that Liara's eyes turned black when we were having sex with her, and I don't think I'm cool with that.
Do it.
That's why we're in love with Garrus in the
Joker?
next game.
Because his eyes don't turn black. You don't know that for
Gear
sure.
up
They
and head
could
down to
too.
the Mako.
Hope
Joker.
not. That would really
Right
ruin
on
it.
top of that bastard.
Worse,
Well, at
they
least
could like turn
one.
into goat eyes. Can we just bring Liara with us twice?
Uh,
All right. I guess we gotta go do a mission now.
yeah, what's even the point of this game if we got to...
Yeah, I
Well,
guess
that's
we're
our
done.
romance
I mean, we
goal.
succeeded. We should high five on that
We
one.
should.
Boom.
Ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah, that's the coolest that ship
That's
has looked right there,
right.
actually. You're totally right. Oh no, it's the Gex.
Oh, this looks like a cool Indiana Jones
Okay,
lair.
yeah, you know what? It actually does. What is the camera doing right now?
Stupid
I feel like they
things.
just want to prove that they can do cinematic stuff with a fake camera, so like, we're gonna snap zoom on everything. Just keep spinning it around forever.
Yeah.
Oh look, he's walking away all cool like.
I mean, I'm sort of glad they end loaded like the cool
Good
factor
missions,
on
yeah.
all their settings and vehicles and stuff.
No, that's for sure true. So we're getting kind of
We
close
have to
on
inside this
time.
bunker before Saren finds
We're at
it
like
under
12 minutes, but I
There
don't
is
want
no
the
way
only
we
thing that
can
happens in
pass
this
that
episode
door
is
through
we got to have
force.
sex with Liara.
I think we could go for a little bit and like
Yeah.
at least get started on our way to wherever we're going.
Can we make
We
the
will have to find some way to
thumbnail
get it
for
up
this
and
video
running
just
again.
Liara's butt?
I don't know when YouTube flags.
right? I think it would a bunch.
I think they would. Yay, now it's an overrun with vines elevator.
Still an elevator. So wait, we got dropped off in the Mako, and now we just have to. We got out of the Mako, and now we just have to get right back in the Mako. I think.
What was... Yeah, that was weird. Oh, there's little wisps.
Ah, gosh.
Flips it immediately.
Why? Why would they make us do a 3-point turn? Why would that be the first thing we have to do? Ugh. Have you ever seen?
Well, this will be the next 10 minutes of the episode.
Oh gosh. Have you ever seen Austin Powers, like the first Austin Powers movie?
Nope, not a single one.
You know, Caitlin, that surprises me. You seem like the target
Remember.
audience for Austin Powers.
What have we learned before? If you ask me if I've seen a movie, assume the answer is no. Just blanketly.
Oh, okay, wait. So we actually can't use the Mako. I turned it around for nothing. Why did they even give us the Mako?
Ugh.
Oh gosh. Oh, I
They're
gotta
just
actually play the
teasing
game
us.
now. Yeah, with the possibility that this game could be fun.
Harsh.
Well, you know what? I'd feel bad, but it's totally true. Okay, Garrus, you need to get in there and like get some work done here, okay? Because I'm not doing this whole mission by myself. Oh gosh, those are like some big turrety turrets. I gotta go hide.
Big guns.
I am going to die.
Yes, Garrus gets in your way every step of the way. So
Ha.
you've been reading... Is that the only thing you've been reading is the Charlotte Holmes? Or are you working on something else?
I'm actually working on something else. My friend suggested this book to me. I cannot remember for the life of me what it is called.
Ooh, Librarian Challenge. Describe it to me and I'll name it.
It is a book about what I can only assume is a Greek family where it's
Okay.
like a king, his wife, and his children. And, oh, I killed Garrus. Sorry, Garrus, but Liara can't die because we love her. Although narratively, if someone was going to die, it would definitely be Liara, but whatever. So, okay, wait. I'll ask the question later.
Okay.
So, anyways, in this book, it starts out and it is lit. My friend said, Cody, this is a book about family drama and sex. And I was like, great.
I'm in.
I'm in. And then what it's actually about is a very long-winded description of this warlord father sacrificing his daughter so the wind changes directions. And so, like an hour of the daughter screaming and them finding out she's going to be sacrificed, and then the slow lead up to her being butchered on like a cross
Oh gosh.
by her father, and it's all from her mother's perspective.
Oh
and she's
gosh.
just like flatly describing this after the fact, like, and then he tricked us, and then we knew it was too late. We couldn't leave. We were under guard. And it's just like, oh, great, fun. Thanks, Ben. He's like, no, it picks up after like an hour or two.
After
like,
the hour
great.
of terribleness.
So after the hour of daughter sacrifice, it becomes fun. So I stopped listening to that and started listening to Lady Sherlock.
I
is
don't
what
blame you
happened.
for that.
But
I don't know what book that is. I failed the librarian challenge.
It's okay. I think it's kind of a weird one. Considering I could get it right away from the library, it sort of implies
Nobody
that it's
else wants it.
Yeah.
So I finished Stormfront finally.
Oh my
which-
gosh, yeah, why haven't we talked about
Yeah.
this yet? This is way more interesting than what I was talking about. How did you feel about it?
So you and Zach had both kind of prepped me and said, like, you know, it's either really, really good or really, really sexist.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
I
either
was like,
really
okay.
good or a woman walks in the door.
Yeah.
Well, she wouldn't walk through the door. She would walk through the open door.
The open door.
So that way Dresden
with
could
sexy
spank her
hair.
butt,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I wanted to have, so at first reading it, like the first half, I think I saw you and I was like, I want to have a different opinion about this than you guys, but I don't really, because it is really just like interesting plot stuff happens, interesting elements of this world, this magical urban fantasy world are introduced, or there's a woman in the room and Dresden just like spends his whole time insisting he's a gentleman and then simultaneously objectifying her sexually.
I like the idea of him objectifying her. Sorry, that's me. But yeah, it's bad.
Just like either one of those extremes. But then honestly, in the second half, there's a lot less of that. Like he doesn't really. There's the like sort of funny scene where this woman that he's supposed to go on a date with like accidentally drinks a love potion and then is like really hot for him, and he's like, no, but we gotta fight the demon thing though, and you're distracted, but we should fight the demon thing. And
that was a funny scene to you.
So that's like, I can see the humor in that scene, but also like doing anything with a love potion ever is like so fraught with so many consent issues that it's like really hard to have it even be present in a story. And I think it was okay, honestly.
Without the overtones of like,
Right.
what's the real world and like comparable thing to this, and it's like, oh, roofies. Probably not
right.
the fun time jokety joke topic, you know.
But like, as far like understanding that it's like nearly impossible to like have that in fiction in a like decent way, like it was okay, you know,
Yeah.
because he wasn't like taking advantage of the situation. He was honestly like, oh, that's bad. And then like the second half of the book, like he has like a long conversation with a female character, and
Is it Murphy?
no, it's the woman who hired him.
Oh, okay.
She like goes through the whole backstory of like why she hired him, and he's like an honestly decent person. Like once he gets like stops telling you that he's a gentleman, he actually like shows care for a person.
Yeah.
And it's just like he spends all this time telling you when he should be showing you, like he does in the second half.
Yeah.
And like if you're gonna have a character be like a caring person, like don't have them tell you I'm a caring person. That's just like basic story stuff that I feel like Jim Butcher should know, but
well, and that is for
I don't know how
sure
self-conscious it is too.
a
like,
frustration. And like, I think for me and Zach, and I'm curious, I'm gonna say something that I am not fully confident is true, but it's one
Okay.
of those things that like the discussion might This is a hypothesis.
Okay.
So I read a lot of romance, just in general, or I intentionally read books that have like romantic subplots. And frequently in romance written by women, kind of pretty clearly for a female audience, men are horrible, and it's never brought up as a negative. So what I
Okay.
mean by that is 50 Shades of Grey is not a weird book. It did not break new grounds with how it portrayed romance. It is pretty much entirely typical for the genre for that to be the way men act.
Gotcha.
And I think for me what it is that I'm really self-conscious about that. So like I can see the like fantasy element of, and I'm not going to necessarily say this is true for Jim Butcher, but if you imagine a character like Dresden that's like, I always open the door for women, and you know, he's like a super,
that whole thing in the beginning.
that
is
whole
dumb.
thing, I could understand where that could be a like fantasy for a male character in a similar way that frequently in fiction women are depicted in like a fantastical and impossible way to make them overly attractive.
Okay.
And I think that's just flipped, but then for women it's these like hyper masculine men that like get into bar fights whenever someone looks at, like, it's like a guy looked at me and then this potential love interest like punched them in the face and ripped their ears off and now I know they must truly love me. Or it's like,
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that trope before.
Yeah,
just
or
the
it's-
overreaction to
they're like-
anybody thinking anything about you.
just like any amount of like agency. It's just like, I wanted to do this myself, but then a man showed up and did it for me. I was mad at him, but I also kind of secretly liked it, is another thing that just comes up all the time. You know what I mean? And I can
Yeah.
understand like maybe there is a way that is like in a fantasy way appealing, but when you're a guy reading it, it just comes off as all of these guys suck in all of these books. They're all dicks, and it's like, great. It's
Yeah.
really uncomfortable for me to read this, even though I
Yeah.
know it's really not for me.
Yeah.
But with Dresden, it's awkward because it's written by a guy for a male audience, so then it feels like this is the fantasy that he's proposing for men to be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that men are more sensitive to that if we're like actively trying not to be this negative
Right.
stereotype
Yeah,
that
yeah.
could be like Harry Dresden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think, did you guys say that it gets worse though? Like it doesn't improve from this book on?
So it does both. It splits. The good parts get better, and the worst parts, in my opinion, get worse.
Great.
This,
Yay.
what I would say is right now,
I guess I'll say this book was not as bad as I was expecting based on you and Zach talking about it. But that could be because of like the accumulation of all the Dresden books that you've read.
yeah, I think to me, in the first book, and these all bleed together so
That's
much for
yeah,
me.
that's totally fair.
So I might kind of misrepresent what's going on, but frick, I'm lost. There's a blinky thing. I'm gonna go towards that. In the first book, I think the worst scene for me was the love potion thing. Just because it, okay, so I think the problem is that it was described too sexily.
Yeah, well, because I guess like Dresden's like, yeah, she's pretty hot, but like,
yeah,
we
it
can't-
seemed like it was supposed to be titillating in its description.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's kind of where that's problematic, that it is like basically the equivalent of a woman
oh,
being
it's supposed
roofied.
to be. It's supposed to be like a fantasy that you like
Yeah.
nicely say no to, but like the whole idea of it
The idea
is supposed
of
to
it,
be appealing.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like
Yeah, I see that.
you get the double advantage of one, this is a super sexy situation, but then Dresden also gets to say no to it.
Right.
That
Yeah.
comes up again in a lot of different
Okay.
situations. Like Dresden being the one who's always
Like I
rejecting
could
advance.
have all these things,
Yeah,
but
but
I'm
since
too
I'm a
good
good-
for them. I
yeah.
see. Yeah.
But meanwhile, the audience still just gets to live out that fantasy of both
Of
being a
being in
good
that s-
person to
and-
yeah,
Having the being in that situation,
and also
I get
being in that situation where like, you know, like a woman is, I guess you'd say like vulnerable, or you know, like, yeah, I think vulnerable is the right
Yeah.
description there. I think where it gets more problematic is when the same tone is used to describe so the analog to that is kind of Rufy's, sort of, but it wasn't like Dresden's the one that roofied her, so it gets vague
Yeah.
as to whether or not this is acceptable to put in the book, and you know, like, Dresden's response is appropriate, so okay, fine. The problem is when it becomes much more tricky subjects that they're trying to handle, and Dresden's still responding the same way, and it's still kind of being described in the same way.
Okay.
So
It's like stuff that you should be more sensitive with.
well, stuff that you need to be careful about how you're talking about and how you're portraying as an author, I feel like is not given enough respect
Okay.
and is not handled carefully enough. So, like, if what Jim Butcher wants to do with the Dresden Files is kind of have, like, these, like, sexy moments that are meant to be, you know, fun and exciting for his audience to read, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, just don't mess with really tricky topics around
Yeah, like don't
sexuality.
braid it with
Yeah.
like really complicated
Just
things.
have
Yeah.
it be, like, fully in their faculty of age women who are consenting to the situation and nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case in the books.
Gotcha.
And so that to me is where it gets kind of creepy, is that it just keeps getting more like nice guy-ish as it goes, but it still has that same problem of Dresden gets to at once live out this sexual fantasy, but also get to be a good enough person to say no to it.
Right.
And that's where I think it gets kind of like grosser.
To like keep
as
doing
it-
that.
Yeah,
like,
it's grosser as it goes, not better.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
because then when like he presumably sleeps with the journalist woman that was with him
Good idea.
with the love potion, it was just like at the end like totally skipped over. So there's not like a like normal
forgot.
sex scene where you like see her being like her totally intelligent self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to talk about this because, like, the biggest one that I want to bring up and complain about is absolutely spoiler territory.
Yeah.
So
What
I-
book is it in? Do you know? Or is it blurred too
I
much?
think, like, after,
How far do I have to go?
I think after book 3, it's kind of introduced,
Okay.
and then it just keeps getting worse
Okay.
until it stops getting worse and then kind of gets better,
Okay.
which is a not good description.
Well, the books are pretty short, so
They are, and
I can maybe whip through.
if you're listening
couple
to
of
them, you can they bleed together so much. Like, I cannot remember what happened in the first book. But to me, what just stays consistent throughout is the way women are described as absolutely as like fantasy objects. Like
Every time. So we were talking about the difference between the Cuckoo's Calling, the description of everybody in the Cuckoo's Calling, which is also a detective novel with a man as the main character, but it's written by a woman. And how funny it is to go from that one where pretty much like there are legitimate models like our main characters in this book, but most like by and large most characters are described as ugly.
Yeah, or
like
plain.
they are plain, or just like their flaws are the things that get highlighted in their
Yeah.
very quick like 2-line description. Like 1-line description even. And then compare that to Dresden Files where just like everybody's hot. So hot. Pages about how hot they are. Oh yeah, we're doing a plot
Oh.
now.
Sarah must have set an ambush.
Oh no.
think so.
Is the Mako destroyed?
I
I'll
hope
shed
so.
0 tears.
Oh, we're in an ambush right now, I think.
Oh, so we're stuck.
Oh, because there's force fields. Okay. Well, and what kills me too is I listened to Cuckoo's Calling again recently just because you brought it up. I tried to watch the show and then I couldn't. I think I already talked about this.
Yeah.
But I forgot, like, your male lead character does get to have sex with a supermodel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that happens in the book. But you know what? They're all totally cool with it.
Yeah.
It's like she does not feel like she's at like an emotionally like unstable moment. She's just like, I
No.
have a type and it's big detectives.
Yeah.
You're
it's
a
like
big
big burly
detective.
guys and I'm
he's-
into you.
Yeah, and he's like, I have a type. It's beautiful supermodels. Like, sure, okay. You know?
Yeah, and she doesn't feel like she owes him.
Yeah.
There's no
It's like very
yeah.
clearly both consensual and casual, and they both know that's what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
And so it, like, you have that, like, ooh, it's a detective novel, and the detective gets the fun part where he gets to have sex with somebody. Like, I understand putting that in as a fun part of a novel, but it doesn't feel gross in that book. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
okay.
And like when the main character, the detective in that book, like does
Perhaps
like
there is
notice
still hope.
how attractive people are,
This is
he like
incredible.
polices
An actual
himself sort of.
Cody
He's
of
like,
the
oh
eye.
yeah, they're
I
really hot.
don't
I should probably,
have
you know,
been
be
monitoring
professional
your
here.
And it's like brought up as a
communications
negative
live
about
this
him.
Yeah, he like realizes
I have
like, oh, I shouldn't do
translated my
that.
output
Whereas
into a
Dresden
format
just
you
like
comprehend.
spends, I don't know, a
Well,
page.
he just talks about how
My
okay it
name
is.
is
Yeah, he's
For him
just
to be
like,
like, I
oh yeah, they're
objectify
super,
women.
super hot.
But
But
that's
I held the
fine.
door for them, so I'm a gentleman.
Right.
It's like,
No one
what?
will be safe.
Like the
Ugh.
main character in that book feels like he's a little bit of a flawed character. Like he's just not 100% redeeming values, and he's treated like he's not made of 100% redeeming
Yeah,
values.
yeah.
Oh shoot, this is Vigil. Also, I just want you to look at how long we've been recording.
Oh, frick.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
30 minutes.
Yeah, dang it, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Zach. We're the worst people ever.
We are gonna have to make Zach a sorry.
An advanced
He said we're gonna
monopoly
keep it to
analysis
15
system
minutes.
with
We start
personality
talking
imprints from
about
Quesada
books.
Chan, chief
30
officer
minutes.
of the
Dang it!
research facility.
Just immediately. Yeah, we were at like 12, and we're like, we're fine. We'll just like run a little bit.
Why did you bring me here?
Oh
You must
gosh.
break a
I'm just gonna
cycle.
keep
What
saying
is
get to the point.
Vigil?
I don't know. I stopped
To
paying
stop it, You must
attention.
understand, or you will make the same mistakes.
I
we
think
did.
this is a Prothean.
The Citadel is the heart of your civilization and the seat of government,
Okay.
as it was with us,
Yeah, I
and as
think
it
this
has
is
been with
Prothean.
every civilization.
So this
that
is
came
like the
before
opposite of
us.
a Reaper.
Okay.
But the Citadel is a trap. The station is actually an enormous mass relay,
Oh.
one that links to dark space, the empty void beyond the galaxy's horizon.
So if we go there, we'll just
When
get
the
sent to
Citadel
the
relay
void.
is activated, the Reapers will
Oh.
go
Oh,
through,
okay.
and all you
Thank you,
know
Vigil.
will be destroyed.
That's important.
If he turns on the relay, the Reapers can wipe out the Council and the Citadel
Like
fleet in
completely
one fell
missed
swoop.
this big moment.
It's our fate.
We are the
Our
worst.
parents were dead
This is what
before
you
we
get for
even
talking
realized
about
we were under
relationships
attack.
in books.
The Reapers seized control of the Citadel, and through it, the mass relays.
Oh, so this is how they
Communication and
died in the
transportation
Citadel.
across our empire were
So they
crippled.
just let us, like,
Ether
let
system
humans and
was
stuff, like,
isolated,
rebuild the
cut off
Citadel?
from the others.
I think that they're like
Easy
mostly
prey
dead
for the
except for
Reaper
this guy on
fleets.
this random like because this is like a
No, they
ruin.
are,
decades,
but, like, why did the
Reapers
Reapers
systematically
let
obliterated
people,
our
like,
people. World by
colonize the
world,
Citadel?
system by system,
I think they're telling
they
us right now.
methodically wiped us out.
All of you.
Okay.
Some of you must have managed to survive.
Through the Citadel, Reapers had access to all our records, maps, census data. Information is power, and they knew everything about us. Their fleets advanced across every settled region of the galaxy. Some worlds were utterly destroyed. Others were conquered, their populations enslaved. These indoctrinated servants became sleeper agents under Reaper control. Taken in as refugees by their Protheans, they betrayed them to the machines.
So is that the how the Geth
Within a
fit
few
in?
centuries, the Reapers killed
I don't
or
know
enslaved every Prothean in the galaxy. They were relentless.
So how did we
brutal,
get rid of the
and
Reapers?
Absolutely thorough.
How did you stop them?
Okay.
You said you brought me here for a reason. Tell me what I need to do.
Conduit is the key. Before the Reapers attacked, we Protheans were on the cusp of unlocking the mysteries behind mass relay technology. Ilos was a top-secret facility.
We're on
Here,
islands.
researchers
Ta-da!
worked to create a small-scale version of a mass relay, one that linked directly to the Citadel, the heart of the relay network.
The conduit is not a weapon. It is a backdoor onto the Citadel.
What happened next?
We severed communication with the outside, and our facility went dark. The personnel retreated underground into these archives. To conserve resources, everyone was put into cryogenic stasis.
Oh, that's what all those
I was
tubes
programmed to
are.
monitor the facility.
So
and
these are all
wake the staff when the
Protheans?
danger
Yes.
had
Okay.
passed.
So we have
But
help.
the genocide of an entire species is a long, slow process. Years passed, decades, centuries.
Well, this is a
The
lot of
Reapers
story we're getting right
persisted.
here.
My energy reserves were dwindling.
Oh, did they have to like sacrifice their people one by one, like power to their?
How did you survive?
I began to disable the life support
Yep.
of non-essential personnel.
Yeah.
First support staff, then security. One by one, their pods were shut down to conserve energy.
That's
Eventually,
sad.
only the stasis pods of the top scientists remained active. Even these were in danger of failing when the Reapers finally retreated back through Citadel Relay.
There were hundreds of stasis pods out there. You just shut them down? You killed them?
You programmed to protect them, not kill them.
What is he supposed to do?
Yeah,
This
right, I know,
outcome
but you
was
just
not
have to say
completely
that because
unforeseen.
otherwise you sound
My
like a
actions
monster.
were a result of contingency programming entered on my creation.
I bet they didn't tell the non-essential staff about this contingency.
I saved key personnel. When the Reapers retreated, the top researchers were still alive. My actions are the only reason any hope remains.
So he's not a Prothean, he's like
When
a
the
Prothean
research
program.
woke, they realized the
Oh,
Prothean
okay.
species was doomed. There were only
Oh,
a
but it
dozen
was
individuals
Protheans
left,
in the
far too few to sustain a
in the
viable
pods.
population.
Yes.
Okay.
Yet they vowed to find some way to stop the Reapers from returning. A way to break the cycle forever. And they knew the Keepers were the key.
Frick, what are the keepers now? Oh my
Aren't
gosh!
they under the influence of
So
the
many
Reapers?
The
nouns.
Keepers are
Gosh, this
controlled
episode's
by
gonna be
the
40 minutes
Citadel.
long.
Before each
no.
invasion, a signal
this
is
is
sent
2
to the station
episodes.
compelling the Keepers
Zach, we
to
love
act at
you.
the Citadel relay.
So much.
We're
So many
sorry.
Decades of
cakes
feverish
for
study,
you.
the scientists discovered a way to alter this signal. Using the conduit, they gained access to the Citadel and made the
man.
modification. This time, when Sovereign sent the signal to the Citadel, the Keepers ignored it. The Reapers are trapped in
Oh,
darkness.
we're recording way too late.
And this guy talks so slow.
The Reapers are trapped in dark space. Unless
Unless
Saren
Saren
succeeds.
Saren can use the conduit to bypass all the Citadel's external defenses.
Correct. And once inside, he can transfer control of the station to
And
Sovereign.
then they'll ship all of them in. Okay.
Sovereign will
do
overlap the
what?
Citadel systems. and
Sovereign will
manually
ship all the
open
Reapers in,
relay.
I thought you
right?
said all the
And the
women.
cycle of destruction
What?
begin
No.
again.
Just took a Dresden turn tonight.
Can you help me?
Is there any way we can stop
Why that
There's a
camera
data
angle?
file on the
Stop it, game. Stop
Take a
being
copy
arty.
When you go. When you reach the Citadel's
not a good look
master
for you.
control unit, upload it to the station. It will corrupt the Citadel security protocols and give you temporary control of the station. It might give you a chance against Sovereign.
Wait, where's the Citadel's master control unit? I've never heard anything like that.
Through the conduit, follow Saren. He will lead you
So
to your
we're going to the
destination.
place we were going anyway, yeah?
Let's
Since
move.
got enough of a head start. Grab that data file and let's go.
Shepard, are you sure? Who knows how much longer Vigil will be here? Even now the projection is weak.
What
This
else
might
are we
be our
supposed
only
to do?
chance to speak with it, our only link to the knowledge of the Protheans. It is the opportunity of a lifetime.
You're right.
It might know something useful.
I will provide whatever information I can. My data bank, however, are limited to information directly related to stopping the Reaper invasion.
Sovereign, probably?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Do you want to go through all these?
No.
Nope. Sorry, Liara. Time to go.
I've got the file. Come on.
The one you call Saren has no speech
You should really talk to
Not
him.
yet. There is
It's
still hope if
getting
we-
late
Nah,
there,
let's say we
Liara.
did.
We're tired. All right. All right. I think this is where we're done, right?
Yes, we're done. Until next time, everybody, read some good books and keep wandering.
And also just send a message to Zach apologizing for us. He deserves it.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey Wanderers, thanks for listening to the Wandering Gamer Network Plays Mass Effect. We hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to hear more content from the Wandering Gamer Network, check out the link in the description. We have several actual play podcasts including D&D 5th Edition, City of Mist, and many more. Until next time, keep wandering.